We're looking at solution of a quadratic equation. Now the general form for a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is general form, the standard form for quadratic equation. Now a, the b and the c, as colored in red, these are representing numbers. The x stays as it is because it's independent variable. Now a, even though it can represent any number, b can represent any number, and c can represent any number, the only number a cannot represent is 0. Because if a is 0, then the product of a and a squared will be 0, and we would not have a quadratic. So therefore, b and c can be equal to 0, but not a. Now, an example we have here is negative 5x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. Now what we're seeing here, the coefficient of x squared is a, and the coefficient of x squared here is negative 5. So therefore, a is equal to negative 5. The coefficient, or the number before x here, is b, and so 2 is before x, or the coefficient of x is 2, and so b is equal to 2. And as you can guess, or you can note, c by itself is a constant term. In this case it is negative 1. Now, as mentioned before, a cannot be equal to 0. However, b and c can. Now when b is equal to 0, notice what will happen. The product of b and x will be 0. And so you will not have the bx term anymore. If b is equal to 0, the product of b and x is 0. And so you'll only have ax squared plus c equals 0. So when b is equal to 0, the form is ax squared plus c equals 0. And we have an example here. 6x squared minus 5 equals 0. Notice we have the x squared term, or the quadratic term, but we do not have a linear term, the x term that is. We only have a constant term. We have an x squared term, a constant term, but not the x term, because b is equal to 0. Now when c is equal to 0, what will happen here? If c is equal to 0, we'll only have ax squared plus bx equals 0, because c will no longer be there. So when c is equal to 0, the form is ax squared plus bx equals 0, sorry. And the example we have here is 3x squared minus 5x equals 0. We have a x squared term, that's the quadratic term. We have a x term, which is the linear term, but we do have a constant term, which is equal to 0. Now these are all equations because they're equal to some value. Now remember, a cannot be equal to 0. Now the three methods that we'll be looking at, there should be methods. The three methods that we'll be looking at for solving quadratic equation are factorization, using the formula, and completing the square.